Welcome to the Freshman Podcast. This is episode 2. All-Star Recap, No Cap. This is your boy Josh, also known as Jay Fresh. To my left, we have Ye, also known as Yacy. Down below, we have Tremaine, also known as Maine. And we're going to jump right in. We're going to kind of recap the All-Star weekend we had here. So if you guys listen to episode 1, we had our predictions. We're not going to get too deep into this. We're just going to go back and kind of recap who won what. So for the skills competition, none of us picked Bam, and Bam was the winner. The 3-point contest, we all missed again. Buddy Hield came out victorious over Devin Booker in the final round. The dunk contest, I came out victorious. I chose Derrick Jones Jr. There's a lot of controversy around this selection. A lot of people felt that Aaron Gordon got snubbed again, and Dwayne Wade possibly played a role in this due to him being biased towards Miami Heat. Not sure if that's fact or fiction, but Derrick Jones was the winner of the dunk contest. And the World versus USA game, it was a 131-151 victory for the USA team. I think we all bombed out on this one. Well, yeah, Maine chose USA to win, but their MVPs weren't their MVP selections weren't selected. Miles Bridges was the MVP. I don't think any of us saw that coming, so congrats to him. And the All-Star game went down to the wire in dramatic fashion. Came down to 2 free throws by Anthony Davis, and Team Brown wound up being the victor, 157-155. And I think we all chose Team Brown to win, and none of our selections were correct. I chose Russ for MVP, Maine chose LeBron for MVP, and Ye chose Anthony Davis for MVP. And the actual MVP was Kawhi Leonard. So we were all wrong. Moving forward, going to get into a little bit of the trade deadline and the buyouts that happened. So first off, we touched on this a little bit on the first episode. D'Angelo Russell to Minnesota. Who do you guys think won this trade? Is it a good trade, bad trade? Just give me a little feedback on how you guys feel on this trade.
Got it, yeah.
Minnesota won in my eyes. If Clay and Steph were healthy, I feel like Golden State would have won. They probably could have made a push for like a 8-7 or 6 seed with the added of his wing. But as far since that that didn't happen, D'Lo to Minnesota, and Minnesota got what they wanted. I mean, they was trying to keep Cat happy as well. D'Lo been bounced around a little bit the past year or two, so this might give him a little stabilizing. So I feel like Minnesota won out.
Nice. Maine, feedback?
I think both teams got what they wanted. I'm gonna go the opposite route. I think Golden State won long term because I think they're gonna use
Andrew got Wiggins. A high take.
Yep, Andrew Wiggins, and they picked the first round pick they got for All-Star wing. So
I think Minnesota won. I think nothing against the guy, but I think Andrew Wiggins has definitely not played up to his potential. There was a lot of hype surrounding him coming out of college, and I don't think he ever truly blossomed into that player everyone thought he was going to be. I think that is a lot of pressure thinking he's going to be like the next LeBron or whatever, but I just don't think he ever truly panned out. And then the stint that they had with Jimmy Butler, and he kind of caught all the guys soft, including Karl Anthony Towns. I just don't know if he's going to last in that Golden State system. Possible trade bait down the road, but that's just me. All right. Another trade that we talked about in the prior episode was Iggy. How do you guys feel about that?
My bad. Can you repeat that real quick?
Another trade we talked about in the prior episode was Andre Iguodala to the Miami Heat. How do you guys feel about that?
I think Miami ended up winning the trade just
Mhm.
based off better leadership and just having that championship and playoff experience.
Right, right. Yeah.
I feel like Memphis won that. Just because I know the young players didn't want him there. You know, there's a little Twitter beef going on or whatever,
Yes, yes.
interviews. So I feel like them just getting Iggy out of there, you know, just off of the team in general. I don't feel like it's gonna like boost them or whatever, but
Mhm.
I feel like since they wanted him gone so much and he wanted to be gone, that
Right.
this is more like a fresh air for them, basically,
Okay.
so to speak.
I feel like the Heat won. I think that he's going to bring intangibles to the team that may not necessarily always translate to production on the court from himself, but I think there's a lot of stuff he can teach those younger guys to help them elevate their game. So even if they don't make a deep playoff push this year, down the road, I think it will definitely help those guys blossom into better players. Moving on, we have Capella to the Hawks. I'll weigh in first. I think that the Hawks on this trade, they actually received a player um, that's going to add to production on the court. I think the Rockets were making this move more so to clear up cap space, as well as, I guess, to help spread the floor for their star players. So I'm leaning towards the Hawks on this one. What is you guys' feedback on this one?
I also think the Hawks won the trade. I understand what Houston's doing overall, like you said it, stated. They just clearing out for Westbrook and Harden, but I think Capella is a nice big for Trae Young.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I feel like Houston won the trade actually, just because I really feel like Houston wanted to play small ball
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning, from the jump anyway. So I feel like Houston did win out with that one. They got what they wanted. They got two players that they can play through, isolate through, which I feel like they wanted all along in the first place. So that gives them something that they don't actually have to worry about. Because, with Capella, you was going to actually kind of have to give him his throughout the game. Like, he was going to have to get his, but now he can just be solely on Westbrook and Harden. Like, you don't have to worry about nothing.
And I would like to make a quick correction. I misspoke. The Rockets did clear up cap space, but they also received Robert Covington within this 4-team trade. I'm still going to go on my decision that the Hawks won a trade, but just wanted to add that point in. Moving forward, both of the Morris twins were on the move. One brother, they both wound up in LA. One brother to the Clippers and one brother to the Lakers. How do you guys feel about those acquisitions?
you go ahead, yeah.
I just feel like it was funny. Like, I feel like LA, the Clippers and the Lakers has been doing this all year. Like, you get this person, I get that person. Like, so you pick up a number 2 pencil, I'm gonna pick up a number 2 pencil. Like, they basically just been trying to cancel each other out as much as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Morris twins, I don't feel like nobody won out. Like, I feel like they both got what they needed. Like, they can both help both teams. Like, as far as spacing the floor go, so they can actually help out both teams. If I had to choose who would win and got the better twin, I would go with the Clippers.
Okay.
I feel like they'll play. I don't know which one that is. Is that Marquise?
Marcus. It's Marcus.
That was Marcus that went to the Clippers? Okay. So, yeah, I feel like the Clippers are willing to play Marcus way more than what the LA would do with Marquise. But, like I said, they just been doing tit for tat the whole whole year. So
All right, I got a hot take. Kind of to piggyback off what you said, I do think they have definitely been going tit for tat, but I don't really see what either twin is bringing to these teams as far as like from a production standpoint. I guess you're gonna add, I guess, a tough guy to each roster, but I don't see the fit. Like I feel like each team, the area that they needed to improve on would probably be more of a more spot up shooters to help space the and as far as the Lakers case to help, you know, kind of space the lane for Anthony Davis when he's down in the post or when LeBron is driving. The the Clippers, I mean, I think they need shooting as well to help space the floor. I mean, you definitely lack it in Patrick Beverly. Um, yes, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both able to knock down 3-pointers, but I think their bread and butter is more so getting in the lane and getting to the rack and finishing. Um, so again, besides I guess an enforcer standpoint, I just don't get it. That's just me.
So I agree with both the statements both you guys made. I actually think the Lakers needed more twins, particularly Marcus Morris, more than the Clippers. I think the Clippers just did it just so that the Lakers don't have them.
Okay.
I think Marcus actually do fit the Clippers culture because he's a bulldog, he's tough-minded, also another versatile scorer, and he's another versatile defender that they can throw at LeBron and AD.
Okay.
So I think he's a pretty good fit for the Clippers.
Now, when you said he's a versatile scorer, is he an efficient versatile scorer? Now, with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and we also have to add Williams to the equation. With those guys being with the ball in their hands majority of the time, where do you think he's going to get his shots, or where is he going to be able to be effective with a role in that offense?
He have more open shots, but I do agree to the point that chemistry-wise, it might not be the best for them because, Marcus, when he was in New York, he had the ball in his hands majority of the time.
Right.
I just think overall, I think that's the biggest problem with the Clippers. They got too many shot creators and not enough playmakers for one another. So.
All right, cool.
I feel like he's efficient for what he is. Like, I mean, of course, like he's not efficient as far as like being like a superstar or whatever. But as far as like a role player, even if you take it back to the Celtics days when they was playing, they did their job, which is basically spacing the floor, being that dog on your team, and playing defense. In all honesty, I mean, of course, when they went their separate ways, one went to New York. I mean, it's New York. I don't want to really speak too much on that, but I feel like they're efficient for their roles and what they do.
All right. So we're going to introduce to you guys a new segment, Better Now or Better in 3 years. So we're going to compare two guys that may be at the same position or have a similar play style. So we're going to go around and see who you feel is, as of right now, the better player, and who do you think will have the potential to be the better player in 3 years. So we're going to start this one off. The first matchup we have is Jason Tatum versus Brandon Ingram. All right, well, which one of you guys would like to kick this off?
I can go ahead. So better now, I have Jason Tatum.
All right.
And better in 3 years, I also have Jason Tatum.
So you double down on it. Okay.
Yes, sir. The reason why I want Jason Tatum now is I think he's a better scorer right now, a little bit better defender. He's more established so far in the playoff based off taking his team further. During his rookie season, he took his team all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the one question mark we have on Brandon Ingram is he hasn't made the playoff yet. So just based on that factor alone, I have to go with Jason Tatum now until, Ingram makes the playoff and he's proven that he's better in the playoffs. Because I think Tatum has proven that he's better in the playoffs than he has been in the regular season.
But can we penalize a guy for lack of postseason success. If this is more so a individual kind of matchup.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but I'm
Mhm.
just basing off who's more accomplished right now,
I hear you.
and yeah, and I just believe that Jason Tatum has that killer mentality right now,
Mhm.
and Ingram is just now establishing that. I think
Now,
he's going to continue to establish that.
now let
Go
me
ahead.
ask you this. So you mentioned the playoffs and he went further. Is there a possibility, now I'm just throwing something in the air, if LeBron ever got hurt last season with the Lakers, is it a possibility that we got to see, what Brandon Ingram can do? And is there a possibility he possibly could have been in the actual NBA Finals against the Toronto Raptors compared to the Golden State Warriors?
Now, I think they would have made the playoffs. I don't think they would have made the NBA Finals with that, just
Okay.
that Lakers team. My personal opinion, I think they would have lost in the second round that year. If
Hmm.
LeBron didn't have enough players around him, and the young Laker players wasn't experienced.
Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah, we're gonna throw it to you.
I got Bi now and Tatum in 3.
Okay.
I feel like this was Brandon's breakout year, really. But I feel like from the course of now and 3 years, I feel like we're pretty much going to probably be getting the same numbers from him. Maybe just a slight increase, but I feel like what you see of Brandon Ingram now is probably what you're going to see in 3 years. Like, 24, 25 points a game, stealing the block, stats like that, really.
Okay.
But as right now, I'm taking Bi. He's
Hmm.
more of an all-around complete player compared to Tatum. Get his teammates the shots that they need and everything like that. But in 3 years, I feel like Tatum just gonna be there. Like he could
Hmm.
potentially be a superstar in this league.
Okay.
The mentality that he got, you can see it in him already. Especially if he can stay healthy, I feel
Hmm.
like he's going to take more of a leap than Brandon Ingram is. I feel like Brandon Ingram is going to give us the consistency, and then Tatum just going to take that leap, like that leap of faith. Like he even took it this year. Like his stats then increased like crazy. So,
Okay.
but that's what I got.
All right. So for me, I said Jason Tatum is better now, but I'm going Brandon Ingram in 3 years. Now, I do think that Jason Tatum, even if we go back to his rookie year with Kyrie, he showed to be a very nice co-star, and they made a very, very deep run into the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I think he does continue to develop his game more and more, and he is Boston's best player at this point, and he also became an all-star. So hat off to him on that. But Brandon Ingram, gonna have a hot take here, guys. I feel that we have not been able to see his full potential due to the fact that he was playing under LeBron James. I think that comes with a lot of pressure and scrutiny. And as we see now, Brandon Ingram is starting to flourish in New Orleans, and he's able to play his game. And I feel that when you're playing with somebody like a LeBron or somebody of that caliber, you kind of have to transfer your game to complement their game. And he's not I guess, a spot up shooter as they kind of tried to make him into. And this was his first season being an all-star as well. So hats off to him on that accomplishment too. But I think as he continues to develop more and more, we're going to see him be more than just a scorer. He definitely has the length to be a defender. So if the coaching staff can just kind of, get on him to buy in on the defensive end, I think he's going to be a great two-way player. The offense is going to continue to come to him. And then with complementary pieces like Lonzo Ball and Zion Williamson, I think that team is going to eventually start to make noise in the Western Conference. Not going to say that they're going to, go to the finals, but I definitely think they'll be, able to win a first round series, possibly a second round series. So we'll see. But I think the future is very bright for Brandon Ingram. He now has a chance to prove himself, and he's not playing under considerably a top 2 player of all time. So
Can't wait to hear the LeBron fan on this one.
Huh?
I said I can't wait till the LeBron fans see this one. Yeah, you made the block out for real.
Hey man, it just had to be. It had to be stated. Sorry.
Somebody had to say it, man.
All right, on to our second matchup. We have Devin Booker versus Donovan Mitchell. Sorry, what you guys like to lead this one off. So I took Devin Booker now, but I'm going with Donovan Mitchell in 3 years. Got another hot take, guys. All right.
Uh-oh.
So I got into the stat book. Now, this may not be a big difference, but surprisingly, Donovan Mitchell actually shoots a higher three-point percentage this season than Devin Booker. Devin Booker is shooting 36% from the three-point range, and Donovan Mitchell is shooting 36.4% from the three-point range. Now, I guess a decimal point isn't a big difference, but I mean, hey, it's a better. Rebound is pretty close as well. Mitchell was at 4.4 a game. Book is at 4.2. Now, this is a stat that kind of surprised me, but I think this would be due to the fact that Devin Booker probably does handle the ball more than Donovan Mitchell. Booker is averaging 3.9 turnovers a game, and Mitchell's only averaging 2.7 turnovers a game. And as far as the defensive end, Mitchell is averaging a steal a game, and Booker is close with 0.7 steals a game. So across the board, I think the stats are pretty close. I think that once Mitchell becomes I won't say a better spot up shooter, because I feel that he can get to the rim and finish already, but I just think it's more so he needs to focus on the shooting aspect of his game, spot up shooting and 3-pointers. So once that develops, I think it's there. He can get in the lane, he can finish, dunks, layups. So that's where I stand on it.
Man, I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, I know you want to say some more stuff about Mitch, but I took Devin Booker now, and I took Devin Booker in 3 years.
Another double down.
Yes, sir. I just think Devin Booker is an overall better player than Mitch. He's a more efficient player. He's a better playmaker. I just think that Mitchell's in a better situation than Devin Booker. And if you were to swap D-Book and Mitchell, I just think the Jazz they also be going to the playoffs, or possibly they could go further in the playoff with Devin Booker. And whereas if you put Mitchell with Phoenix, they would be just as bad or even worse than they are right now.
Okay.
And I just think in 3 years, Devin Booker is going to just continue to get better and better. Where I think Mitchell got a possibility to take a leap. I think Devin Booker leap has a higher leap than Mitchell. So.
Now let me ask you this, because I can't remember if this was you or Ye who mentioned the playoff success is kind of gave one of the players a kind of I guess a +1 in a sense for their run in the playoffs. Devin Booker, we haven't seen in the playoffs for one, and Donovan Mitchell, we've seen him knock off the Oklahoma City Thunder with Paul George and Russell Westbrook. So I think we got to give him a little credit for that as well. I know I didn't make that initial point, but I think we got to give him a just due for that. And getting the Jazz to the playoffs. Now, I don't think that he has he does have an all-star in Rudy Gobert, but besides that, it's just a complimentary guys. Nobody that's a superstar per se.
I also think that their system is very well ran, because Coach Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches, I believe, in the NBA. Okay. I just think the team fits around Donovan Mitchell well, whereas Devin Booker don't really have a co-star like Donovan Mitchell has. And I just think that Phoenix is just now beginning to take that step forward.
Okay.
So I just think Donovan Mitchell is in the better position than Devin Booker right now.
Okay. All right, yeah.
I chose Book.
Another double down.
I just don't see the Donovan Mitchell hype. I'm sorry. First of all, if you look at like the Jazz, like you talk about, I know you said the playoffs and everything like that. If you look at the history of the Jazz always only had 2 stars. From the John Stockton, Karl Malone days, and then you can come back to the D. Will and Carlos Boozer, and everybody else pretty much just do their job.
You just
players.
gonna disrespect Andre Karolinko, AK-47?
No,
Man, that's a wild
no
2 stars.
disrespect.
Whoa,
No disrespect.
whoa.
No
Bring it back,
disrespect to
Playboy.
AK. No, but we wouldn't say that AK was Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer, even though Carlos Boozer was.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I'm sorry.
But
Booze was trash.
you're not gonna say that Andre Karolinko would be your second star. You know what I'm saying? So they always just had two players. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Donovan Mitchell, he's inefficient to me.
Mm-hmm.
From the 3 years that he's been in the league, I haven't seen him change his game. Normally, you come in your first league, they don't really know you. You show out. Next year, you come back, you got to change your game around because they figured you out. I haven't seen Donovan Mitchell really change his game. He's still doing the same thing, which is kind of leading to him to be less efficient than what he was in the first year.
Mm-hmm.
D-Book, from what we have seen, even though he's been put in a bad situation, D-Book has changed his game a lot from just being a shooter to now he putting the ball on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's getting his teammates involved, even though it hasn't translated to anything as far as anything close to being in the playoffs, but that's just the situation he's in. Hopefully he can get out, because I feel like if he stay with Phoenix, it's still going to be the same thing. And we're just going to be talking about Devin Booker as nothing more than being a all-star, basically, or all-star snub. That's about it with him being in Phoenix. But I just don't see the hype with Donovan Mitchell at all. Like, I feel like I may be going out on a limb with this, saying this, and I'll probably get some heat from this, but I see Steve Francis a lot of him.
Not D Wade, more Steve Francis.
Steve Francis.
Hold on, man. You still on my point.
Okay.
Small. Steve Francis was what? Same size, basically. Volume shooter, volume scorer. Same thing as Mitch. Put in the right situation, flourish. Take him out of that.
Now let me say this. I feel that you're penalizing him for not being able to shoot, but then you say that you kind of champion Devin Booker for saying, okay, he's putting the ball on the floor now. Mitchell can already put the ball on the floor already. It's just that he needs to improve on the shooting or whatever.
Mitchell, I feel like Donovan can shoot the ball. It's just the shots that you take.
Okay.
That leads to that. Like,
and you also touched on about the system that he's in, and I think that he is more of Donovan Mitchell is more of a tweener, and I put him more in like that D Wade. He's not a point guard, but you want the ball in his hand, and I do think that this year they're trying to incorporate Mike Conley into the offense, and that may have a pushback on his numbers, but it's just like, when he's at his best, the ball's in his hand, and he is able to make plays for other players. I mean, I don't think that he was just scoring a ball in the playoff series against Oklahoma City, because it got to a point where, I won't say that they were doubling him, but sometimes when he came off that pick and roll, they were trying to trap him. So he did have to kick to guys. And, I do have to give a lot of credit to Ingles in that series. Ingles was he caught fire. He couldn't miss. So I had to give him big credit for that.
Reason why I didn't say D Wade, because no offense to Donovan Mitchell, but I just wouldn't disrespect D Wade in that manner at all. That's why I chose Steve Francis. Same thing.
But we're not saying that he's that caliber, but that mode. But we can even say a Gilbert Arenas. He's not really a true point guard, but he played the point, but he's like a tweener. He's more of his main kind of thing was scoring, but he was too small to play shooting guard. So
I see what you mean by
So you like a
I mean, I
combo?
see what you mean
yeah,
by
it's like
tweener.
it's
Yeah, I mean, I
they
get
call it a
that.
zero guard because it's not really you don't fit the mold of either per se, but it's just like you a player. So
I mean, I get that, the tweener. I mean, I understand that, but I just don't really see the hype anymore. I
okay.
feel like he's going to give us what he's given us from now on. I don't see any difference.
Okay.
I don't see any big leap out of him.
All right. Any other closing statements from you, man, on this one?
Oh, no. I just need D-Book to get more help or leave
Okay.
Phoenix. That's all.
So
Leave. D-Book, if you watch this, leave. Leave.
So yeah, basically, if this does take off, you're getting blocked by Cal Lowry and Donovan Mitchell. Thanks. No listeners in Utah and no listeners in Toronto. Thanks, Jay. All right, we might have to block you from the podcast. All right. Moving on to the final one of the day. Drum roll, please. We have Anthony Davis versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. I didn't think I was gonna be able to pronounce that. Kudos to me. So who would like to start this off?
You know what?
Should we go with the fan in this one?
I'm gonna just make a couple quick points, and then I'm gonna just give it to y'all too, because I know y'all two gonna battle this one out.
Okay.
The only thing I'm gonna say is, as of right, I took Giannis now, and I took Giannis in 3 years. I just think right now we only seen 60, 70% of what Giannis can be, and he's a back-to-back, pretty much about to be a back-to-back MVP.
Right.
Whereas Anthony Davis is in his prime now, and I think this is gonna be we seeing the peak of AD, where he's kind of borderline MVP player, but he hasn't had the success to me as Giannis, and I just think Giannis is proven more than I ain't gonna say more proven in the playoffs, but obviously what he did last year.
I got two kind of arguments for you. First off, I just need to know what's up with you doubling down, and then second, you talked about the playoffs. Man, the Western Conference is a different beast. It's a whole different monster.
Okay.
And Giannis ran through the East last year without LeBron. And then if I'm incorrect, who did they lose to the year before? Was it they lose to Boston the year prior when LeBron was still there?
Yeah, they lost to Boston.
Yeah, man. All right. I'm gonna go ahead past you. Yeah, you go ahead.
I can answer that couple, but first off, AD, when you have Boogie, AD only made out of the first round. He only made the playoff one time in his career, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
That was the year they had Boogie, and I know the Western Conference is a more tougher conference than the Eastern Conference, but I personally think if you have Giannis in the Western Conference, I think he would have made the Western Conference Finals, whereas AD hasn't even came close to making the Western Conference Finals. And I just think, go ahead.
Now let me ask you this. Now you said he only made it once. Now, do you think that if you take both of those guys off those teams, how far do you see Giannis going? And then do you see Anthony Davis not making it to the conference finals or the second round or however far?
If you flip-flop them, put them on New Orleans, and okay, I think I think Giannis would make more playoff appearances.
Okay.
I don't know if he would have made the Western Conference Finals with Golden State in a way and Houston in a way, but I do. And also, I give you a point that AD would have made last year to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
I don't think they'd have won either way. But I just think Kawhi was on a different level that last year, but I just think Giannis overall got more potential.
Okay. And before we kick it, I just want to make one last point because I think each person has used this counterpoint as far as about the team around them, complimenting them. Besides Jrue Holiday, the complimentary pieces in New Orleans side haven't been that great. And I mean, I don't know.
Was you okay? Yeah, you got it. You go ahead, yeah. I see your face.
And Giannis has had the same thing? Chris Middleton?
Wait. Maine mentioned Boogie Cousins, as we all know, is very injury prone, and if I'm not incorrect, he sat out a lot of games that season. At least he has a real all-star.
A real all-star?
Is Jrue Holiday all-star?
Is Chris Middleton really an all-star?
Yeah, the past 2 years.
That's debatable.
No, fam, it's fact.
We can find some people to take his spot.
Hey, fam, you eliminating the fan base to make your
Look,
chill
man,
with the first
don't
Jazz.
get me wrong. I love Chris Middleton, but him an all-star, I even said to myself, he's not a really true all-star. Like, he's not a compliment. Like, he's a perfect piece, but he's not that player that's going to be his second star. Like,
I think he complements his game well because he's gonna drive, he's gonna dunk. So you need somebody that's a knockdown shooter. Anthony Davis didn't have a knockdown shooter. But continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
Didn't he have JJ Redick with him? No. Did he have
We
JJ Redick with him?
ain't going to talk about it because he did.
Isn't
we ain't gonna
he?
talk about
I think he's there now. Or where is he at now?
No, he was there. No, he was there with AD.
Was he?
Oh,
He was there with AD.
Are we gonna compare JJ Redick to Chris Middleton? No,
Same thing. I'm just saying knockdown shooters. Just knockdown shooters.
Shooting. But y'all know me, man. You know.
No, we know you, but let the viewers know you.
I chose AD now, and Giannis 3. AD now, because for one, I ain't want to double down, but like I said, I love AD game. You feel me? I just feel like from what we see from AD is literally what we're going to get from him. Like AD is at his peak for the most part. We know what he's gonna get from him. Very, very skilled player. I don't really see AD taking a team like how Giannis could, but I mean, as you can see him with LeBron this year, it's just working out like crazy. But like I said, AD got all the tools, put the ball on the floor, shoot, you feel me, post game, all that. But I just feel like he's where he's at. I mean, y'all know me as far as Giannis go, like the niggas has to leap after leap after leap after leap every year. And it doesn't show any sign of slowing down. I feel like we've only seen about 70% of his potential. Like every year, y'all criticize him for something, and he come back and he do it. Last year, it was he can't shoot. This year, he said he gonna come in and he gonna shoot more. He may not be a shooter because he's not a shooter. That's not what he does.
Okay, I'm glad you admit that because sometimes you're open for a reason. But continue.
Yeah, but I give you a prime example. Ben Simmons. We told him to shoot the ball.
We're not gonna get any love from Philly.
See him shooting in the summertime, and what happened when he gets to the NBA? He doesn't shoot the ball at all. Then you get Giannis, who y'all said, okay, he didn't shoot. He comes in and shoot. But now y'all say, oh, he still can't shoot. He's taking more threes this year. I mean, it may not be the most respectful thing, but at least he's not scared to shoot them. Like, and I believe it was the whole month of, I think it was from November to like December, January, Giannis was shooting over 40% from the 3-point line. But
I just want to say again, sometimes you're open for a reason, but carry on.
This is true. I agree. We're all more scared of Giannis going to the rim than shooting a 3-point shot. We all know that. But I just feel like Giannis is at the point where he just going to get better and better. Like, it's not too many people in the league that you see that wants and have the drive to be great. Like, it's not a lot of players like that. Like, that just take what everybody's saying to them and use it and keep going with it. Like, so what we going to say at the end of this year or the end of next year, Giannis going to come back and do. Like, he just got that type of drive, that mentality. Like, he's dominant. We haven't really seen anybody like that in a while, in all honesty. I haven't seen nobody that wanted more, even though, like I said, last year, disappointment. in the conference finals versus Kawhi. But I really haven't seen nobody that want it more than him as of right now. So, but that's my take on it. I ain't gonna say too much.
All
Go
right,
thing.
before I get into it, I just want to say I feel like that was very biased. I think that a lot of guys in the NBA are driven, if not as much more, just because a guy doesn't post himself working out in the summer or working out with a trainer doesn't mean that they don't want it. I believe
Giannis
that,
don't post himself at all though. Giannis don't even work out with other players in the league.
okay, he works out with a trainer. Okay, cool. I mean, that's fine. I don't think that's a factual statement as far as his drive. If we can use Kawhi Leonard as more drive.
I'm gonna give you one thing.
You go from San Antonio and then you get the Raptors to a championship. That's drive.
Does J.R. Smith have drive?
What does he have to do with this?
I'm
Is he
just
in the
saying.
league?
He's in the NBA. Well, he was.
I think he had drive at one point. He got a championship. He got his money. I mean, after that, I guess he was content.
Got his Hennessy. That's the thing. Giannis is not content.
Okay.
Great players don't become content. They want to get greater.
Okay. All right.
But
man, let me make my points because we can argue about that all day. But anyway, all right. So I chose Anthony Davis now and Anthony Davis in 3 years. I doubled down. Now I'm not gonna be a complete stats guy throughout this whole podcast. But
we don't do that with Giannis stats.
I do feel that if you are supposed to be a MVP caliber player, we're gonna start with the basics. 63.3% from a free throw line is ridiculous. And you're going there almost 10 times a game. You're leaving 10 points. Well, no, okay. We'll say that's 4 points. If he makes 60% of those, we'll say that he's leaving at least 4 points on the board a game. Compared to Anthony Davis that's shooting 84.5% from the free throw line at 8 attempts a game. If you're supposed to be the man and the star player, if the ball is going to be in your hand at the end of the game, you need to be able to knock down free throws or essentially your liability to the team. Now you did touch on the fact that he's started to shoot more threes. He's at 31%. I don't think 30% is great. Anthony Davis is shooting at 34, not much greater, but still 34 compared to 31. I'm taking 34. Now, as far as defense, this is what really shocked me because I figured that Giannis would probably be better on the defensive end. Anthony Davis is coming in at 1.5 steals a game. Giannis comes in with 1 steal a game. Anthony Davis is averaging 2.4 blocks a game. Giannis is only averaging 1 block a game. I don't know. I was surprised at those stats, but I figured that Giannis would definitely be more of the dominant player on the defensive end compared to Anthony Davis. I figured it would kind of be more of a trade-off. We would kind of champion Anthony Davis more so for his offense compared to Giannis's offense and champion Giannis for his defense compared to Anthony Davis' defense. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that neither one of them are poor defenders or nothing like that, but just in my mind, I feel that when Giannis comes to mind, I'm thinking more on the defensive end, but I guess I was wrong on that. Anthony Davis, I think right now he has the full skill set. So if you take away the post, he get the mid range. I'm not a big fan of 34% from the 3, but if you need him to step out there, he can. You just want a guy to be able to kind of on the offensive end be versatile and able to do different things when the defense throws out different looks at him. As we've seen in the playoffs, when teams close up the paint, it's pretty hard for Giannis to be effective. Now, I understand that you mentioned that he did make improvements on his shooting touch. Now, the playoffs will be coming up soon, so I guess he has a chance to kind of prove if what he's been working on will translate to the playoffs. But I think we'll definitely see more teams do a similar kind of just trying to cut off the paint for him. So we'll get a chance to actually see if that 3-point or even his mid-range shot is legit. So I think that'll be a good measure. But I think another thing why I have Anthony Davis being better in 3 years, I think that his time he's spending with LeBron in LA, he's gonna learn a lot from LeBron. Now I know they're two totally different players, but I think he's gonna pick up a lot of game from LeBron. He's gonna be able to put that to use and help him elevate his game. So I feel like LeBron's gonna hand him the torch. Now I don't see LA winning championship after championship because I think the West is a gauntlet and there are gonna be more teams reloading and stacking up. But I do see him being able to bring another championship to LA. Now this could be a pre-notion that him and LeBron are gonna get a championship together. But I do think he's gonna be able to take the Lakers to hypothetically another championship when LeBron hands him a torch and is out the league. So that's where I stand on that. Any rebuttals on that?
A lot, but it's not enough time. You know what I'm saying? But as far as free throws go, LeBron doesn't shoot a good free throw percentage.
We got to stop doing this. This is not. We're not
I'm
going to keep
just
comparing
saying,
another player.
You can't we know like Giannis is an MVP quality. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, he should shoot better from the free throw line, but LeBron's MVP caliber and he shoots like that, and everybody talks about LeBron's greatness. So you can't really like take it. You can take it against him, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's just something that we gotta accept at this point. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get better at it. I'm pretty sure, just like the 3-point. You feel me?
You brought up LeBron, and in that same token, I can bring up Kevin Durant. Almost the same height. I can't say that they have a similar build, but close to the same height. Obviously, Giannis is more of a bigger build, but 50, 40, 90. That's a different beast and all. But he's not shooting 60% from free throw line. I'm not even talking about threes. We just keeping on free throws. If you're the star player, you need to be able to hit your free throws at a higher clip than that. And LeBron knows that himself. You think he doesn't know he needs to hit free throws at a higher clip?
I'm pretty sure Giannis knows it too.
Hey.
I'm pretty sure. And the 34% over 31, really? 3 extra percentage.
Hey, I'm just going to say this. If that 3 extra percent.
And AD's a knockdown shooter.
If that 3 extra percent means that you have 99 points in the game compared to 98, I'm taking that 3%.
What happened to that game winner in the corner? Never mind. Yeah, they ain't ready for that. AD. I know, man. Remember it? Remember that? Yeah, the LeBron dot to the corner. AD.
You missed that 3.
Follow through.
Okay. All right.
Hey.
You're going to make it seem like I'm a Lakers fan.
I'm not here to make any enemies,
You're going to make me seem like a Lakers fan, but all I'm going to say is the last time that they played, we know what team won.
I'm just saying. You remember that?
I'm going to say the first time they played, too.
On that head, them threes was falling.
I hear you. But I'm just going to say this. I'm not a Lakers fan.
Not make any enemies, guys. Yeah.
In early March, that weekend, they beat the Bucks and they beat the Clippers.
That's what great teams should do.
Hey.
But they lost one as well. So.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's tit for tat here.
All right, guys.
Tit for tat,
This was episode 2 of the Freshman Podcast. If we don't end it here, we're gonna go all day. We have a real diehard Giannis fan. Not gonna knock
30-14. Ended on that 30 and 14.
Not gonna knock him for that. I'd like to thank both of my co-hosts for another great episode.
Shout out all the NBA players, man.
And tune in for episode 3 coming soon. All right.